Growing up in America, I never really felt like I had a sense of where I was. In a way, I didn't even really know where I was. And that might sound weird, but what I mean by that is in my day to day life, I basically had no sense of my environment and no real connection to it. But the thing is, I didn't really think of it like that at all. I didn't really question anything until I spent a year living in Norway. And I lived in this, it was not like a big city at all. It was one of the small West Coast cities, a pretty like medium sized town, like 30,000 people. I was at a school that was located right in the center of like the little city area. And that's something I really love about cities in Norway and a lot of places in Europe is even smaller towns, like small to medium sized towns, have centers where you can kind of get around by foot and there's like a lot of things in a dense area. So where I was, I could literally just walk down the street a little bit and I was at a store. It was a full mall actually. And they had like all kinds of stuff like restaurants and shops and basically anything you need. Remember, it's only 30,000 people. But the thing is, I feel like when a lot of people talk about this type of stuff, they really focus on the convenience aspect of like, oh, well, it's so nice to be able to not have to drive and I can just walk to the store or I can walk and do errands or walk to work. But to me, the bigger thing is the way that you actually feel this connection to the place you are. And it's so hard to describe like what that's actually like. But like once you actually feel like you understand where you are and like, oh, I recognize that building. I recognize that little forest over there or that street there. It's so much deeper than just, oh, I can walk. For me, it was so impactful just because I actually felt like I belonged and I felt like I was existing in a place that actually felt real and not like I'm just like kind of in this world that I'm kind of disconnected from. Just to be honest, like that's kind of the way I felt growing up in America. When you're in this kind of car dependent place, yeah, you can go on about like all the issues with car dependency and like having to drive everywhere. But for me, it's really more of like a spiritual thing almost. It's like, I feel like when you live in a place that is only accessed by car and that everything is kind of just spread out, how do you even really feel connected to that at all? To me, it just feels like you're kind of floating around in this place and you're not really living there in a way. I don't know if like I'm the only one that's ever felt this before, but even living in that small town, I would have like my friend, he would like ask me, oh, you want to walk to the store? And it turned something that would normally just be an errand of, oh, okay, let's just go to the store, get some stuff. It turned that into an actual experience. Like you're actually walking through different places. You're seeing other people, you're seeing nature. Yeah, like it's not like it was like some perfect paradise or anything. Like there's still cars on the street and not every inch of the journey is like this beautiful place, but it changed the whole way I thought of like just living and daily life and the way you actually go about doing things on a daily basis. And I feel like when you live in a place like most American cities, things just turn into chores when they could be more experiences instead of just, oh, I have to do this. So I'm going to get in my car, sit in traffic, park in the parking lot, walk like a few feet. And then it's like, it turns these very menial chores and errands into actual pleasurable things to do. So I live in Atlanta. And if you know anything about Atlanta, you know that it's a very, I don't know how to say this in a bad way, but it's just a very, weirdly designed city, honestly. And there's a lot of just asphalt everywhere and everything's so spread out. I mean, the majority of America is just very spread out and that's just how it is. But if you live in the Northeast, it's generally going to be a bit more dense. But yeah, it really is just kind of a universal experience. And I just feel like it's a bigger thing than people talk, like the way people talk about it. It's not just like an urban planning thing. That's kind of interesting to me, talking about like trains and buses and cycling and all these different like alternatives to driving and stuff. It's like, it's all cool and it's a big thing on YouTube. The thing is, it's a lot of that just comes through the lens of like urban design and urban planning. And those people definitely talk about it from a more human standpoint, like a more everyday, like this is a lot more than just nerdy stuff. This actually impacts life. Like this impacts daily life, like significantly. But yeah, for me, like, I don't know anything about urban planning really, other than like the things that all the YouTubers say. But it was something I experienced before I kind of learned about it. And I think that maybe that made it even more impactful for me because I lived in Norway for a year, not in some like urban oasis, like not in the middle of like the big city, but just in a place where cars weren't literally the only thing outside of your house. And I think experiencing it and then learning about all this stuff and like the way that things kind of happened over time and the way cities got developed in the US and then the way that like European cities also had a bunch of cars and then they decided, many of them, not all of them, but many of them have decided to really fight against that because they realize all the things that cars cause that are bad for people. And there's a lot more to it than just, oh, I don't like driving and it's good to have other methods of transport. Like, no, like your health will get better. Your mental health will be better just from going outside, like getting sunlight, seeing things, seeing nature, and then seeing other people. Like, I can't even, like, that's a whole nother thing. Like passing by strangers that you don't know. And I'm not talking about like talking to them. Like even if you don't talk to them, just being exposed to other living beings. It's so weird. It sounds so weird, but like literally just having that was like a fundamental change in the way, I don't know, like maybe this is me more than others, but I just feel like there's a fundamental change in the way that like it literally changes your brain. It literally makes you like, to me, it makes me feel so much more connected to my environment. When I'm like, oh, look at all these people around living their own lives. It's not just me in my little bubble. And yeah, like there's all kinds of research showing like car dependency makes people more individualistic and all that stuff. But like to me, I'm just going off of my own experiences. Like I've all this, like all these people talking about this online, but like to me, it's really just like, yeah, like it really changes everything. And I feel like I'm at a point where it's just like, I would literally rather prioritize being in a place where I can walk outside without like having to drive somewhere and go on a walk or make a planned time to do it. Like just doing it as part of my daily life. That I would much rather do than live in some place that has supposedly more economic opportunity or more things to buy or like more job opportunities, anything like that. Like there's just certain places that I'm like, yeah, I just won't live there anymore. And then, yeah, Atlanta is one of those places, in case you couldn't tell. But it might sound like this video is like some type of clickbait thing, like changed my life. That sounds like you're just trying to get people to watch. But no, like it actually changed my life. Like it actually changed the way I see things, the way I experience things on a daily basis. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize this. But I just wanted to share my perspective about the kind of personal side of these things that to me is a lot. It kind of gets overlooked and it like, and a lot of the things that people talk about are just very like analytical things. But for me, it's like, yeah, I just wish every human could live in a walkable city and experience like what it actually does to them mentally, physically, spiritually. It really does change a lot of things. And it is a big reason why I'm moving to Norway. Even though Norway isn't really like the most walkable European country on average, just because it's so mountainous, so much different terrain. And, you know, so like traditionally it hasn't been like super densely populated. But I mean, you're seeing in Oslo, Trondheim, Bergen, they're making big efforts to reduce cars, make things more accessible by foot and bike. And if I'm going to live in a place and I'm going to choose to live there, I definitely would rather to be in a place that is focusing on those things and actually like making progress in the right direction. And I'm not going to act like American cities are just not doing anything because there's a lot of people that are making efforts, even in Atlanta and across the country, to try to make cities better and more human friendly. But yeah, I mean, it's going to take a long time, honestly. And I'm not getting any younger. Like, I just don't see it really happening for a while, getting to the same point that Europe is. So yeah, that's why I'm moving. But yeah, the point is that once I experienced a place that was even just a little bit walkable, like just being able to walk to the store. And then I was really lucky they had a gym like right there. I mean, I can't even tell you how much that impacted my health, being able to walk across the street and there was a gym there. And it was like the best thing ever. It was like $20 a month where I'm from. Like, yeah, you're not going to find any gyms that cheap. But anyway, yeah, that's basically it. Thanks so much for watching. And yeah, I look forward to more stuff about this type of thing, like comparing America and Europe and the things that I realized that I just wish more people knew. Not in some like condescending way. I just really wish people knew about it. But yeah, that's about it. And I will see you in the next video.